You're listening to the Codependent Millennial Podcast with Sophie Shilo, episode 15, Confidence. This episode is part of my series on the 7 essential steps to moving beyond codependency. To receive the full guide along with all of the worksheets and written guidance, just visit codependentmillennial.com/essential, click the button that says Get the Guide, and sign up there. Today, my loves, we're talking all about confidence. Where confidence comes from, why you might not have as much confidence as you'd like, and how to develop true, self-generated, lasting confidence that will stay with you your whole life. Confidence is security in yourself, not in money or status or a relationship. Our only real security comes from confidence in ourselves. True confidence is self-contained, self-generated, self-regulated. Who decides your level of confidence? What determines whether or not you get to feel confident? You do. Your thoughts do. No matter what anyone else thinks or says about you, it doesn't have to affect your internal sense of confidence. And why does this create security? Why did I say earlier that your only true security is the confidence you have in yourself? Due to the fact that you aren't relying on anything external to produce the feeling of confidence for you, anything in your life can change, but your confidence remains intact, and therefore your ability to create anything in your life that you want, no matter if it gets taken away from you, no matter how much things change in your life, none of that will matter if you know how to generate confidence in yourself. We confuse ourselves when we build up illusions of confidence that are based on accomplishments or titles or physical attributes or other people's thoughts about us. These things mean nothing because they can so easily slip away, leaving us with no sense of confidence in our actual selves. This brings up the question, what is the self if not our actions, accomplishments, appearances, positions in society, and in other people's lives? An interesting question to ask yourself. This is why I think that losing an external thing that you relied on for your sense of confidence can actually be a huge blessing if you decide that it is. And that's the thing. Whatever happens in your life, you get to decide whether that thing happened for you or against you. There is never a situation in which it ultimately serves you to think of yourself as a powerless victim in your own life, in the story that you tell about your life, with things just happening against you which you have no ability to use for your own growth and development. You get to choose how you think about your life, so why not adopt a narrative where there's nothing that could ever happen to you that you don't harness for good, for your own benefit? This choice is where all of your personal power lies. You never have to wait for other people to think good thoughts about you until you can choose to think those amazing thoughts about yourself. You never have to think disempowering thoughts about yourself when other people have negative thoughts about you, ever. And you never have to think that anything in your life happens against you without any possibility for growth and evolvement as a result of that event. In what new ways could you or would you approach your life if you knew, because you decided, that everything you experienced would contribute to your life rather than degrade it or threaten it? If this point of view seems foreign or irresponsible or illogical, just know that it's not any more or less logical than the perspective that you are a victim to the things that happen in your life. Both narratives are always available to us, but we get to decide which orientation we want to have towards the events in our lives that are out of our control. Maybe we can't always control what happens in our lives, but we always have full control over how we view those events and act in response to them. For me, I choose to view events in my life and respond to them in such a way that makes me feel powerful, grateful, determined, and confident. I choose thoughts on purpose, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it doesn't feel natural to do so, that make me feel powerful, grateful, determined, and confident, regardless of what's happening around me. So where does a lack of confidence come from? A lack of confidence comes from the illusion that something outside of you determines your capability, your worth, lovability, quality, desirability, purpose, or path in life. This is the exact opposite of the mindset that I was just describing. When you think disempowering thoughts about yourself and your life, you feel a lack of confidence, not the other way around. Your lack of confidence isn't just something you were born with, and it doesn't create your disempowering thoughts. If it did, if you really were born with a lack of confidence, and that's what created your negative thoughts, you would have no power to change that. Good thing the exact opposite is true. I'll also interject here that I do believe that all babies are born with this inherent, beautiful sense of self-confidence and self-love. And we unlearn that growing up in the world because that's what happens when you interact with other people. But how could your relationship change with yourself if you knew that coming into this world, you were born with full confidence, with a full sense of self-worth, with all the self-love you could ever need? The most important thing I want to teach you in this episode is that you have full control over the thoughts you think and therefore over the feelings that you feel. So you can choose to put down the thoughts you're currently thinking that are causing the lack of confidence that you feel. This is an upward spiral that will continue to serve you as long as you commit to it. Choose the most empowering, loving, supportive thoughts. Feel the confidence that those thoughts create. Go out into the world and live in a brave, full way, drawing from your inner well of confidence. Create a life you're in love with and proud of. That's my challenge to you. That is the equation. That's the recipe. Realize that wherever you've sprinkled responsibility for your sense of confidence out there in the world, it never actually resided there, and it can be placed back within you with just one thought. What is that thought? Find that thought for you. What thought do you need to think in order to remind yourself that your sense of confidence lies within you and can never be touched by anyone or anything outside of you? Know that you have the power to simply choose to not make anything in your life mean anything that makes you feel a lack of confidence. Here's an example. A client once asked me how to feel confident even when she doesn't live up to her own standards. Here's what I told her. Not living up to standards is just a thought. It's an interpretation. Standards are a thought. You can literally always choose to see yourself in a way that serves you. You can always choose to tell yourself stories about yourself that serve you. You can keep those high standards if you choose to, and not interpret anything in your life to mean that you'll never meet them, that you're incapable of meeting them, that you should have met them years ago, that you're not meeting them fast enough, etc. The thoughts that don't serve you, the ones that make you feel worthless and stupid and behind the curve, are not more true or realistic than the ones that are kind and compassionate and empowering. What's more, thoughts that tear you down don't make you more likely to live up to the standards that you've arbitrarily set for yourself. They just guarantee your suffering as you attempt to meet them. Please know this and choose wisely which thought habits you're practicing. If you're curious about how to apply this work on a daily basis and how to create the kind of confidence that at this point you can only dream of, let's talk. There's absolutely no good reason why you should let a lack of confidence prevent you from living your best life for another day. Schedule a free one-on-one session with me by going to codependentmillennial.com/free session and check if I have an available spot this week. Our next episode will be an amazing interview I did with Vicki Louise from Fuck Anxiety and Get Shit Done. You do not want to miss it. Until then, have a gorgeous day. If you liked what you heard in this episode, join me over on Instagram at Codependent Millennial for more tips on how to move beyond codependency and build a life you truly love.